College football week 6. You got your game day predictions here. The early game day is what we're going to start calling it. We got all 4 boys back together, so we're finally doing this correct for like the first time in 3 weeks. Adam's been on an absolute hiatus. We literally didn't even know where he was for like 10 days, and
I was stuck in the Amazon rainforest.
Yeah,
I might be dead
with no cell signal. So he might have gone off to Vegas and got married. We don't know. He could do any of those things. So, but he's back. We got a good slate of games. I think a lot of close games. Some top 25 matchups, and so some big rivalries as well. So, gonna have a big week this week. Starting on your end, we're gonna start out of order on my paper, so don't get blown off by this. Thursday night, and we're always doing the local teams now. So Coastal Carolina is at Arkansas State, 7:30 Thursday night, ESPNU. Coastal a 19.5 point favorite, up to number 15 in the country.
Coastal.
Yeah, Coastal big too.
Yeah,
Coastal. So everybody should at least everybody should at least get one right this week. So Friday night, 10:30. This is actually a little bit of a good matchup. It doesn't look like it's probably a big matchup on paper because Stanford is 3-2, but they've upset Southern California and they've upset Oregon. So they have another top 25 matchup. They're at number 22 Arizona State, and Arizona State a 12-point favorite currently. You have Arizona State in the College Fantasy League,
and I will be playing them this week.
Okay, a little bit of a homer for you. So.
Yeah, I am sticking with Arizona State. I think they played really good ball over the last couple of weeks.
I'm gonna go with Arizona State as well. I don't think Stanford can continue the streak of the upsets.
But I think Stanford's sneaky.
Yeah, if you're a gambler, I would definitely say take Stanford plus the 12, but I'm going to take Stanford outright. I think Arizona State's coming off a little bit of a high on that win at UCLA and, that big primetime game. I think Stanford has gotten a lot of confidence in playing these top 25 teams, and, they're just coming off that win at Oregon, so we're at home against Oregon, so I'm going to take them at Arizona State.
Go Cardinal. Go Stanford.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, they beat my USC team, and they just beat Oregon, so yeah, let's see what they can do against another ranked opponent.
Why not? Yeah. All right, well, the hometown team, the hometown favorite, the homers, the 4 of us. You got South Carolina at Tennessee. It's a noon game. Currently, Tennessee, the line is down to 10.5 now, where it opened apparently at 12 from the Vegas odds. So
Tennessee.
All right, well, that was easy for him.
After watching that game last week against Troy, our offensive line couldn't stop me and you from coming in.
Probably true.
So, yeah, give me Tennessee.
I'm going to take Tennessee, too. I think Carolina can cover the 10.5, but I just feel like South Carolina did play well on the road at ECU. So I have some nerves about playing on the road for them, so I'm going to take Tennessee as well.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Tennessee. Them putting up 700 yards of freaking
62
offense
points on
Missouri. Yeah.
It was like 500 passing and 200 rushing. It was crazy.
Yeah, our defense is stout, but I don't know.
With that stuff.
Yeah, that's insane.
They can't hold a team like that for 4 quarters.
Yeah.
Without some help from the offense.
Yeah, Tennessee's going to probably pull this one out. I agree with Chris. Carolina's going to cover the 10.5.
I disagree. Tennessee beats us by like 17 points, I think.
All right.
I don't think our offense can put up enough points, especially watching what they did last week in Missouri. They'll put up 45, we'll put up 17,
18.
Yeah, like we can barely put up 20 points a game. They have no problem hanging 35 a game.
Okay.
So, I just think our offense is on a freaking tailspin. They don't know what they're doing right now. I don't know if that's play calling, scheming, I don't know what's going on with it, but they need help.
Okay.
But our defense has been stout. But I don't think we can contain it. Of Tennessee, even though they are typically a middle of the road SEC team, I don't think we can contain them for 4 quarters.
Tennessee's found their quarterback too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not to keep picking on your fantasy teams, but we have the next matchup is Boise at number 10 BYU. This sounds like a big, should be a clear cut for BYU, but BYU only a 5-point favorite at 3:30.
Yeah, I looked into it earlier. Just because I was looking to see what the lines were, trying to figure out my lineup for this week.
Yeah.
I think BYU wins it at home.
I think BYU's going to take it. People are sleeping on BYU. I think that's reflected in the small line that they got going in the game. But BYU's going to roll.
I mean, there's a reason they're number 10.
Yeah. I think a lot of people slept on BYU losing Zach Wilson. They thought Zach Wilson was the end all be all for BYU, which I was in that boat too. But I mean, BYU's found a good quarterback that can do some things. They got a really great running game. They've played some really tough defense. I think Boise State, Hank Bartwire is one of the better unknown quarterbacks in the country. Is probably what I should say. But I'm with you. I think at home BYU
wins.
Covers that 5 and wins. So
give me the Mormons.
Yeah.
So BYU all the way.
BYU in a clean sweep all 4. Some SEC action. LSU at number now 16 Kentucky. They are undefeated. They pulled off the big upset of Florida. They're number 16 Kentucky. It's a 7:30 game in Lexington. Kentucky is only a 3-point favorite.
It's in Kentucky though.
It's in Kentucky, in Lexington, Kentucky.
I'm going Kentucky on this one.
Yeah.
I think Kentucky's they're gonna find a way to improve themselves to 6-0.
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah. You
Take
going
Wildcats.
All right.
LSU just hasn't seemed the same since losing Bo and all that offensive talent.
Even the greatest team in college football
Yeah.
history.
The
That whole team, that rival team.
Yeah, the team that rivaled the 2001 Miami Hurricanes.
Yeah.
But I'm actually I think Kentucky has to lose eventually, and I'm gonna take this one. I think LSU let one slip away last week with Auburn at home in that night game in Tiger Stadium. And I think Ed Orgeron needs a big win to kind of keep himself off the hot seat right now. It's a big SEC Network game, and I'm going to take LSU.
I'm going to take LSU as well.
Okay, interesting.
Go Tigers.
Interesting.
It's interesting to see a national championship team make such a fall.
Well, there's a lot. I mean, they lost a lot of players.
Clemson?
So,
Sure, Clemson.
Also that. So another big one, Big Ten action, 7:30 ABC. Number 9 Michigan on the road at Nebraska. Again, one of these games that doesn't sound like it should be that big a game. Michigan only a 3-point favorite at Nebraska.
Go Big Blue.
You gonna take Michigan?
I'm going to take Michigan. I'm going to play
Yeah.
it too.
It's his fantasy.
Ride the train while it's going.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go with Nebraska. Michigan always finds a way to lose one of those games they shouldn't.
Yeah.
And Nebraska at home at night, I think this
it?
could be it. Yeah, I think this could be it.
What's the Nebraska's quarterback?
Martinez.
I think he's looked good on the year. I don't think he's going to be good enough at home to beat Michigan. I'm taking Michigan.
I'm going to take Michigan too. I do think the 3-point line is probably relative of how close it could be. I think Michigan is a little untested, but also just, I really thought Michigan was going to lose to Wisconsin last week.
They looked really good against
And they looked really good. They were able to, they typically have been a run team the whole year long. They're running for like 260 yards a game as a team. And they found a way to throw the ball in Wisconsin, who everybody knows is probably one of the best run defenses in college football.
Yeah.
And so the balance that Michigan showed on offense last week gives me enough confidence to take Michigan in this one. So
They were able to change their scheme to match their opponent.
yeah, and it made a big effect. Another big 7:30 game. This one's actually on the ACC network. You got Notre Dame at Virginia Tech. Notre Dame number 14 in the country now, taking a loss to Cincinnati last week. Again, that doesn't sound like a huge game because it's not ranked opponents. Notre Dame only a 1-point favorite.
Well, Virginia Tech's one-loss team or undefeated?
Should be one loss,
team?
I think.
Because I mean, they're in contention right now to be leading the ACC, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean they're 3-1. That one loss was actually at West Virginia, so they picked up their ACC win at the opener against number 10 North Carolina that game. So, Virginia Tech is such a stadium where there can be such a great atmosphere at night, and the Hokies are such a big.
Inner Sandman is wild.
I mean,
Lane Stadium.
Blacksburg is just
Lane Stadium can get pretty freaking lit.
Yeah, so
Especially when you're bringing in a top
25
opponent like this, top 13
opponent.
Yeah. You can go ahead. Let's go.
I would say whoever's got Virginia Tech this week, I think should play them.
I'm playing them. Shit.
I
got nothing to lose.
I think you play them, and I think Virginia Tech beats Notre Dame.
Woo! All right. I'm
gonna go with Virginia Tech on this one.
God dang it!
I'm going Hokies too.
Oh my God! You know what? I'm taking Notre Dame. I'm just gonna be opposite. I was gonna 100% take Virginia Tech. I thought y'all were gonna take the Notre Dame train, but
Notre Dame's good, but I think you've seen some flaws in their games here.
Well, they should have lost to Toledo. They should have lost to Florida State.
Notre Dame's also one of those teams, like I said, Michigan is. They're going to find a way to lose a game. but they shouldn't have. The only reason is Notre Dame's always just overrated.
Okay. I'll take Notre Dame and then 3 Virginia Tech, so we'll see how it goes that way.
I just think that stadium and
that stadium that night
it's
is
gonna
going
be
to
wild.
be that's going to be a tough environment.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. So, another little sneaky one: Wake Forest, number 19 in the country, going to Syracuse. Everybody knows in the Carrier Dome, Syracuse has an advantage. 3:30 game on ESPN2. Wake currently a 6-point favorite.
Demon Deacons.
You want Wake? Okay.
Go Wake.
All right.
The way Wake's been playing, I mean, Wake's been looking fantastic.
Wake's another sneaky ACC team. There's not really a powerhouse ACC team this year, but there's like a lot of little sneaky, decent teams going on.
Wake's one of them.
Wake is one, and I'm going to take Wake in this one. I think I've lost money betting teams going to the Carrier Dome, so I know there's such an advantage of playing there, but I'm going to take Wake in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go Wake Forest.
I think then Wake clean sweep.
Yeah.
So I mean, Syracuse, like you're saying, is good at home, but I think Wake has just been able to make things happen on both sides of the ball this year.
Yeah.
And so I think they put it together and win it.
Wake sneakily has one of the best defensive lines in the country.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
and they're very good offensively too. I mean, they put up.
They may only be 3 and 4 star guy, maybe 4-star guy, but they're making it happen.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, we're into the big games. The Final Four are some pretty big games, big rivalry games. We're going to start with the big one in the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Red River rivalry. Number 6 Oklahoma, number 21 Texas. Oklahoma currently a 3.5-point favorite.
I'm taking Oklahoma. I think Spencer Rattler and that offense can make it happen over the Texas defense.
I think this is first time in a while. I think the Red River rivalries had such a the hype behind it, with both teams coming in ranked like this and actually having some success behind them moving forward. I think Texas is going to pull this one out. Oklahoma's just been letting a lot of teams score a lot of points on them, and with this environment, this game, I know neither team is technically at home, but I think Texas is going to have the advantage and pull this one out.
So Texas 2 years ago pulled off an upset of Oklahoma when they had absolutely pretty much no business doing it. And I think there's plenty of veterans on this team that kind of know what that felt like and know the joy of beating Oklahoma. Personally, growing up a Texas fan, I just can't pick Oklahoma. So I really do think Texas can do it. I think the 3.5 line is a very respectable line. It's probably accurate. This game is always kind of one of those games where
throw the
line out, throw the rankings out. When they get on the field, they hate each other. So
especially the two teams are almost very evenly matched,
right?
Like they are right now.
Yeah. So and Spencer Rattler's a Heisman Trophy candidate. I mean, Casey Thompson has been almost unstoppable since taking over a quarterback for Texas after that Arkansas beatdown. So hook 'em horns, baby.
I think it's going to depend on what Oklahoma can do with Bijan. I think it really depends on if they can control Bijan or not.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to go Boomer Center. I'm going to have to go with Oklahoma.
Okay. 2 Oklahomas and a Longhorn, or two Texas and 2 Oklahomas. Big game that we're going to see is kind of a bounce back game for both of these teams because they both got really beat up on last week. But it's a good SEC matchup. Number 13 Arkansas at number 17 Ole Miss. Ole Miss, the home favorite at 6 points right now.
Ooh, I think that's a little high.
The person that has Arkansas in the fantasy league also agrees with you.
I would say, bet man, I would definitely take Arkansas plus the points here. But the Grove, and you said what time is that game?
It's a noon game.
It's a noon game.
Oh, they're going to be.
I think they're going to be belligerent by noon. It's either one. Noon games go one or two ways. Either you're belligerent by 11 a.m. don't make it in, or you're belligerent at 11 a.m. you make it in. It's just a wild time. Ole Miss at home, I think, is tough right now to pick against because I think they have played decent ball. But Arkansas has really showed out this year and has played really well on defense. They're real aggressive, real headhunters, not in a bad way though, but real physical defense. And I think their offense is getting it done. I'll take Arkansas over Ole Miss.
Okay.
but I think it is going to be closer than a 6 point. It should be closer than a 6-point line, I think.
Okay.
Like Chris mentioned, I've got Arkansas in the fantasy league. This is tough. I think Arkansas is either going to be defeated after last week and just carry that defeat, or they're going to come out and try to reprove themselves and say, hey, it just happened to be the fact that we played the greatest team that we possibly could have played last week.
Yeah.
And they're going to roll through victory. Also, fuck Lane Kiffin. I'm taking Arkansas.
But again, granted though, Arkansas did probably, I think, play the number 1 defense in the nation.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, Ole Miss played Alabama and got blown out too. I mean, both these teams are coming off of absolute blowouts. You know, where's the morale for both of these teams? The noon game in Oxford, like you mentioned, it's not going to matter whether it was a noon or 7 o'clock game. Everybody's going to be lit in the Grove. So, for me, I mean, Ole Miss got beat by the run last week by Oklahoma. Arkansas got beat by the run by Georgia. Ole Miss is a passing team. They're not a running team. They like to get the ball down the field in space, throw the ball a lot. It's a Lane Kiffin style of offense. Arkansas likes to use their quarterback to open up the run game. So for me, it makes more sense to take Arkansas, but I actually feel like Lane Kiffin probably has the better ability. His team had more talent in the beginning of the season, right? Arkansas, nobody expected any of this from them, right?
Not at all.
And so I like my chances of thinking that Ole Miss probably mentally and emotionally bounces back better than Arkansas does. So I'm going to stick with Ole Miss and the Rebels.
Yeah, hotty toddy. Go with Ole Miss as well.
Okay, so
Matt Corral's just been playing lights out football.
they probably are, yeah. So I mean, Matt Corral is a Heisman Trophy candidate for sure.
He's been playing lights out. So.
Another big SEC game, also an Alex fantasy team, as you can tell why Alex is in first place in our fantasy league right now. Number 2 Georgia on the road at number 18 Auburn. I know you can see it. Take a guess on that line. Number 2 Georgia at number 18 Auburn.
The way you're asking, I'm assuming it's under 10 points. 5.5.
It's a 14-point line. So number 2 Georgia, clearly the top dog in the SEC right now.
Yeah,
so.
I think the way you
Georgia
worded
covers.
that, you made it seem like that was going to be, even though they're on the road, or even though that they're number 2, that line was a lot closer than.
Yeah, but I mean,
I think
then you're on the road at a top 25 SEC team.
But the way they
played, yeah. I mean,
was JT Daniels still out?
That's kind of the concern. You don't know whether JT Daniels is playing. Stetson Bennett.
We act like Bennett's not a good quarterback.
He's
a
actually
5-star quarterback.
He is not. He's a walk-on.
Who's a 5-star?
Stetson Bennett.
Who's the 5-star they got?
JT Daniels is the 5-star.
No, he's the transfer.
Brock Hankmeyer, the freshman.
I thought
or Vandergriff, whatever his name is, Brock something. But no, Stetson Bennett's a walk-on. Stetson has not played well on the road. That's why that's a little bit surprising. And in his entire career at Georgia, he's not played well on the road. He got to play at home in front of that big atmosphere last week against Arkansas.
And did very well.
Did very well, yeah. I mean,
they don't need to throw the ball.
No, they can
run the ball.
They can
I think.
Well, he only threw like 18 passes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I think Georgia wins that easily.
Yeah.
Georgia covers.
Georgia.
That's it.
All right, so we'll all just go ahead and take Georgia. Put the Bulldog emblems across the bottom as we go.
Georgia covers that.
I just 3:30 CBS game of the week for ESPN. It's in Jordan. Good atmosphere.
Is that what game day is? Do we know?
No. Game Day's the next final one, but this is where the SEC Network one is probably going to be. So, where Game Day is, in probably the hardest game we have picked this entire year yet, is going to be an absolute 4 o'clock showdown in Iowa. Number 4 Penn State at number 3 Iowa. Ooh. Iowa is a 2-point favorite.
Ooh. Wow.
This is the hardest game we've been.
That's going to be a good game.
Average ticket price right now, $230.
I was going to say $250.
Yeah.
The little link there says tickets low is $230. That's low. I'm going Iowa. What did I say earlier in this season?
Oh, the wave?
The power of the Children's Hospital is going to lead them to roll against Iowa State, and they did.
And it's at Iowa.
And they are
too.
still rolling.
Wow.
As they turn to wave to the children in the hospital, and also turn back to wave goodbye to
I
Penn State.
respect his confidence. He immediately knew he was taking Iowa.
I'm going to go with the Iowa on this one.
Give me the Nittany Lions.
Penn State for Keith. Okay.
Chris?
I still don't know. I've been thinking about this since I wrote this down. I just don't know. I mean,
what's cool about this game is either team really, if they lose, if it's a close game, stay in the top 10.
Yeah. But I mean, honestly, if you see Iowa beat Penn State, does Iowa jump Georgia? Does Georgia jump Alabama?
No.
Does Georgia jump Alabama with back-to-back top 25 wins? And then, does Iowa jump Alabama as well? I mean, Alabama, has played Ole Miss, who's a ranked opponent. They played Florida, but
Alabama's not going anywhere.
I'm going to be with you. I think the home field advantage makes the difference. I think the 2-point line is very respectable. This is going to be a close game, hard-hitting, Big Ten, run the football, play great defense kind of game. And, everybody always makes fun of Iowa for being an 8-win team and never winning anything. But you know what? They're number 3 in the country this year. Let's see if they can do it. So I'll take the Hawkeyes.
Give me Iowa.
Wow. All right. So Penn State, 3 Iowas on the college game day slate. So
I'm going with the fact that I think with the Children's Hospital, it being at home is what's going to give them that advantage.
Okay.
I mean, Children's Hospital maybe not, but just being at home. But it always seems to just give a different feel to the game. Like you're saying, every single time they do that way, it's like all of a sudden that next quarter seems to go Iowa's way.
Yeah.
It always does. But I don't know. That shouldn't even be a 2.5 point. That should just be a straight pick 'em. That's what it should say is a pick 'em.
Yeah. I mean, it really, for us, it is a pick 'em, so we don't have to worry about lines. But I mean, it's probably the hardest game we picked all year.
That's a close matchup, and like you said, it's a 3-4. If you have in fantasy league, either one of those teams, if you have them this week, you almost got to play them.
Oh heck yeah!
You got to play them just for the for the points here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again though, it's because of how close they are. But if you were to come out and said Iowa's going to be a 6-point favorite, then you might shy away a little bit from Penn State. But even then, you got at least if Penn State.
Iowa's up what on 2? It's favored by 2?
Irish favored by 2, yeah.
If you take away the 3 points they usually give you for home field advantage, it's like on 1 point.
Yeah.
I mean, this game's pretty much even.
Yeah.
It's pretty much a pick-em.
It's pretty much a pick 'em. So, all right. So there's your 12 matchups for week 6 of college football. We'll see how the Bros do. We'll get an actual standings update this week since everybody is back in town and actually making all the picks. So we'll see how we do, and enjoy your Saturday college football.